I hope this video finds you safe and secure from the challenges you and your nation are facing. I'm Colonel Doug Merritt, the Command Inspector General for the United States Army Africa.
And I am Mr. Don Champagny, an Inspector General for United States Army Africa.
Now, we believe that those of us serving in security forces share a similar sense of duty and purpose. Leaders and members of security forces serving in Africa, Europe, the United States, and across the globe serve to protect and provide for our families, secure our citizens, defend our countries, and have a strong desire to be respected for our sacrifices. During my almost 30 years in the Army, I have served with security forces all around the world and found this to be true regardless of nationality, tribe, race, gender, or age, and from the most junior soldier to the most senior leader. This is the 9th in our series of 9 videos focused on organizations that assist in achieving the aforementioned goals: ombudsmen, mediators, and inspectors general.
The goal of this video, Investigations, is to discuss what investigations do for a security force, what role IGs conduct for investigations, and how the U.S. Army Inspectors General conducts investigation.
In video 6, we discussed the 4 functions of Inspectors General: inspections, investigations, assistance, and teaching and training. Of the 4 functions, assistance and investigations are more reactive in nature than inspections. Investigations is the IG function that provides the commander or directing authority another means through which to resolve allegations of impropriety.
The primary purpose of IG investigations and investigative inquiries is to resolve allegations of impropriety efficiently and effectively by gathering evidence, evaluating the credibility of that evidence, analyzing that evidence in the context of identified standards, and packaging that analysis and subsequent conclusion in a well-written report. Complaints made to an IG are either issues or allegations. In most cases, assistance handles issues and investigations, investigates allegations. For a complaint to be considered an allegation, it must have a person in violation of a standard. Before we discuss the U.S. system, it is important to understand the difference between an investigation and an investigative inquiry. Investigations are a formal, fact-finding examination into allegations, issues, or adverse conditions of a serious nature that provides the directing authority a sound basis for making decisions and taking actions. Investigative inquiries are informal fact-finding examinations into allegations, issues, or adverse conditions that are not significant in nature.
Regardless of whether we are conducting an investigation or an investigative inquiry, the same level of proof and due diligence is required. They are equally important and must be completed with the utmost precision. The IG's role as the commander's representative is to resolve issues within the limits of the IG system. However, anyone may submit a complaint, allegation, or request for information for assistance to any Army IG concerning a matter of Army interest. The IG will use the Inspector General Action Process, or IGAP, and will refer or conduct an investigation or an investigative inquiry to resolve the issue.
There are 7 chronological steps in completing this process. It is important to understand that steps 1 and 2 will always be completed and will determine how to proceed through the rest of the process. Step 1, receive the IGAR. The complaint may be made by walk-in, call-in, write-in, email, or anonymously. Inspectors General provide and use the Department of the Army Form 1559, Inspector General Action Request, as the primary intake document to record complaints and request for information. This form explains the Privacy Act and the consent elections that pertain to the release of personal information and supporting documents outside of IG channels, but within DoD channels. Complaints should submit their complaint using the DA Form 1559 in order to capture pertinent contact information, the specific action requested, key information pertaining to the request, and the complaint's consent elections. The IG facilitates the completion of the DA Form 1559 as part of the intake process and utilizes it to explain its confidentiality. The complaint does not necessarily need to request confidentiality. the IG will automatically maintain confidentiality. However, IGs never guarantee confidentiality because a legal proceeding or other unforeseen event may require the release of the person's information by law, or our Army IG or another appropriate authority may direct the release for other reasons. When a DA Form 1559 is completed or submitted to the IG, it becomes an IG record. The IG must mark the completed DA Form 1559 properly in accordance with Army Regulation 20-1, Chapter 3, and upload it as a supporting case document into the Inspector General Action Request System, or IGARS. The complainant may retain a copy of their DA Form 1559 provided that the copy has not been stamped or marked with the IG standard classification. Step 2, preliminary analysis. This determines if the issue has merit and requires resolution, if the matter is appropriate for IG action, or if the IG should refer the matter to the command or another agency. The assistance function is the process of receiving, inquiring into, and responding to complaints, requests for information, and requests for help presented or referred to an IG. This process is used to correct problems indirectly. Step 3, initiate referrals or make initial notifications. This step determines IG appropriateness. The problem may have to be referred to other Army IGs, other agencies such as the Criminal Investigations Division, Military Police Investigations, or civil authorities, or command referred, which requires the commander to assign an investigating officer and conducting the investigation. There are several issues that are not IG appropriate. For example, a soldier doesn't agree with his evaluation. This is not a valid IG request because the Army evaluation process has a redress system. IGs do not question how leaders evaluate their subordinates. In this case, we would go straight to step 7 and close the case. If a soldier complaint highlights potential criminal activity, as IGs, we refer that to an organization with the proper authorities.
Complaints that include sexual harassment or racism are referred to our Army Sexual Harassment and Response Prevention, Equal Opportunity, Family Advocacy, or Equal Employment Opportunity programs. If you're interested in learning more about these programs, please request it through the Security Cooperation Officer in the U.S. Embassy in your country. These programs play a critical role in the professionalism and readiness of our security forces, and they can in yours too.
When a complaint is referred to another agency, we close the case because our other agencies have programs and oversight mechanisms. IGs do everything we can to reinforce our unit chain of commands. Therefore, if a commander has the ability to resolve an issue, this referral occurs at the lowest level of command appropriate to take the corrective action, and the matter is elevated only when deemed appropriate. This process assists in eliminating conditions detrimental to the morale, efficiency, or reputation of the unit and the command.
Referrals to commands are not treated the same as referrals to other agencies because the IG is the oversight mechanism. Referral to commanders re-enters the IGAP process at step 6, follow-up. We review the action taken by the commander and ensure it was approved by legal and the issues and allegations were addressed. Under normal conditions, we as IGs do not question the commander's decision. Although this video is on investigations, we use the IGAP process for all complaints we receive. Step 1 through 3 determine whether a case is assistance, an investigation, or investigative inquiry, or if there is an inspection required. We discuss inspections in video number 7, and in number 8, we discuss assistance inquiries.
In step 4, fact-finding, the complaint is determined if it is an assistant inquiry, inspection, or investigation or investigative inquiry. Any IG can perform the assistance function. The IG will use the assistance inquiry to address or respond to a complaint involving issues, requests for assistance, or requests for information, but not allegations of impropriety or wrongdoing. Allegations normally result in an investigation or investigative inquiry. If an IG determines that an Inspector General investigative inquiry or an investigation is necessary, he or she must first obtain authority from the directing authority, usually the Commanding General. During an investigation or investigative inquiry, the IG typically gathers information by reviewing applicable policies and standards or by requesting documentation and additional information from the complainant, from the command, or from other agencies within DOT to determine if an allegation is substantiated or not substantiated. Additionally, complaints received over time provide insight into trends or systemic issues. It complements the inspections and assistance function of the IG system. At the completion of the fact-finding during the investigation or investigative inquiry, the IG will notify and inform the complainant of the results. The notification of results does not necessarily imply resolution of the complaint. The IG will only provide information directly pertaining to that complainant regarding actions taken to resolve the matter. The complainant does not get to know with whom the IG spoke in order to address the complaint. In some cases, the person presenting the complaint may be a third party and is only authorized by law to receive information directly pertaining to him or her without prior consent from the complaint. Usually, a Privacy Act exemption applies. The IG will record all notifications in the IGAR's database and in the case notes. Step 6, follow-up. Follow-up ensures that the IG has thoroughly addressed all issues and/or allegations and that the IG's responsibilities have been fulfilled. Your actions do not end once you have made your notifications at the completion of your case. If you hand off corrective actions to a proponent staff agency, you will probably have to follow up to ensure that problems are fixed. The nature of the case drives your follow-up actions and are independent of the fact-finding process you used. In the final step, close the IGAR, a final reply must be provided to the complainant. In both investigations and investigative inquiries, you must notify the complainant of the approved results of the investigation or investigative inquiry in writing, but only for those issues and allegations that directly pertain to the complainant. If the complainant authorized the release of information pertaining to the results of the investigation or investigative inquiry to a third party on a DA Form 7433, ensure that you make any additional notifications. Third-party complainants, which include spouses in adultery cases, are only entitled to know that the investigation or investigative inquiry was completed and that the commander will take appropriate action. For issues or allegations referred to the command for investigative action, the Office of Record will send a final reply letter to the complainant. However, the letter will only confirm that the command addressed the allegations. The final reply will not disclose the results of the command, product, or action. The case notes, at a minimum, should reflect those key actions by the investigating officer, such as notifications, interviews, important documents received, etc. The synopsis must be a clear, concise summary of the complaint, all the allegations and issues investigated, the evidence analyzed, the conclusion reached by the investigating officer, and the actions taken by the command.
With regard to investigations and investigative inquiries, as stated previously, most are referred outside of IG channels. There are a few exceptions to this rule. A whistleblower reprisal, or an allegation against a senior leader, a promotable colonel, general officer, or senior civilian, that is a general officer equivalent, an inspector general, a chaplain, or a lawyer. In the case of a whistleblower, IGs are mandated to conduct the investigation. Inversely, when an allegation is made against the other categories, IGs are not authorized to conduct the investigations. Senior leaders and Inspector General allegations are referred to the U.S. Department of the Army Inspector General to conduct the investigation. With regard to chaplains or lawyers, the allegation is referred to the Army Chief of Chaplain or Judge Advocate.
The purpose and intent of the Whistleblower Protection Act is to encourage soldiers to come forward in good faith with complaints of wrongdoing that need to be addressed and provide them protection for doing so. IGs within military departments are authorized to conduct investigations for reprisal allegations presented directly to them by service members. The complainant must present the matter to an IG in order to obtain the protection afforded under 10 U.S.C. 1034. If a soldier has a protected communication with an IG or other confidential agencies, protecting the soldier from his chain of command serves to ensure transparency and hold leaders accountable for their actions. When this type of complaint is made, U.S. Army IGs cannot refer to anyone. They are required to conduct the investigation. To be a whistleblower reprisal case, the complaint must have a protected communication, which is a communication in which a member of the armed forces communicates information that the member reasonably believes provides evidence of a violation of law or regulation, including sexual harassment or unlawful discrimination, gross mismanagement, a gross waste of funds or other resources, and abuse of authority, or a substantial and specific danger to public health or safety.
The investigation function is another opportunity for the IG to teach and train, provide information about military systems, processes and procedures, and assess morale. Teaching and training is the fourth of the Army IG system's 4 functions and is traditionally embedded in the first 3: inspections, assistance, and investigations. While inspecting, assisting, or investigating, IGs enhance the warfighting and readiness capabilities of the Army by teaching and training commanders, soldiers, and civilians at all levels on current Army policy and doctrine.
We look for every opportunity to teach and train, whether it be during an inspection, receiving, or handling an assistant case, or conducting an investigation. Additionally, our IG offices build relationships with commanders at every level and conduct leader professional development briefings or classes. In other words, we offer or units request assistance with an issue, but not a complaint, and we provide the training to assist with the issues that self-identify.
We want to highlight the importance of IG confidentiality. The trust that an effective Inspector General system provides is founded in the ability to put forward a complaint and remain reasonably confidential. It is imperative to help prevent reprisal. If a person believes that their leadership will be made aware of the complaint, they are far less likely to address it, therefore allowing it to erode the trust, confidence, and readiness of the unit. As U.S. Army IGs, our handling of information is monitored. If our actions result in the loss of confidential information, we can be removed from our position. This is the 9th in a series of 9 videos to build on the discussion of security force oversight mechanisms, ombudsmen, mediators, and inspectors general, with the primary focus being inspectors general. This video discusses the investigation function. Video 1 is an introduction to the video series, oversight organizations, and the United States Army Africa Inspector General Office. In videos 2 and 3, we discuss Inspector General organization and the development of an Inspector General office. Then, in videos 4 and 5, we focus on selection, certification, training, and standardization of the IG offices. In video 6, we introduce our 4 functions. In video 7 and 8, we elaborate on inspections and assistance.
Again, we can only speak to the U.S. system, but look forward to learning about other perspectives from each of you to share lessons learned and to provide an active network that in the U.S. Inspector General system we refer to as technical channels. If you are interested in collaborating on Inspector General offices and processes, or request an attendance to the U.S. Army Inspector General School,
Would like more information on our sexual harassment and response prevention, equal opportunity, family advocacy, or equal employment opportunity programs, please contact the Security Cooperation Office at the U.S. Embassy within your country.
let them know you are interested in collaborating with the United States Army Africa Inspectors General Office.
We look forward to working with each of you and seeing how far we can go together. In closing, military ombudsmen, mediators, and inspectors general promote trust, respect, and confidence of security forces within the force, with the government, and with citizens by providing accountability and a confidential, unbiased venue for leaders, soldiers and their families, and civilians that work or interact in any capacity with defense forces. They promote readiness and continuous improvement of our forces. Inspectors Generals are of the force, for the force.